welcome into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. It is the 4th week of our Esports Overwatch Tower Rumble, and it is the final week of the regular season and the last chance for these teams to show what they have before our club championships coming up at the end of this week. We're looking forward to some exciting Overwatch games tonight with our round-robin group stage kicking off the show, followed by this week's grand finals. Who will be crowned the final champion of the fall regular season? That is what we are going to find out. I am your host here, Michael Fisher, joined by Brenner Bear Ladd to call all of the action. And Brenner, I think the biggest question is going to be, where do we see this final group and this final week of the Esports Tower Overwatch kicking off? We've got two teams we've seen a lot of in the Everest and the Fire Islands. They'll be joined by Meridian Technical High. So how do you see this final week of the Rumble shaping up?
I mean, it's definitely students are trying to get to that winter break so they can go home and spend time with their families. But at the same time, they're going to be playing Overwatch no matter what because you want to keep that skill level high. And I definitely think they want to finish it out strong. I mean, we've seen very fantastic play from the Esports Tower Everest. We've seen the Fire Islands improve a ton. And in previous Esports Tower Rumbles, we've seen both Blue Springs and the Pink Panthers come through. But now this time around, we're going to have Meridian Technical come in, kind of a local favorite of ours that we've been working very closely with. So I expect to see kind of a lot of high skill plays, and hopefully Fire Islands can come out with a match win this time around because that's something we have not seen them be able to achieve, even though they've been putting in the work.
Yeah, as you said, the Fire Islands have been working all season long. A dark horse coming into this event. The Everest have also looked very strong. Curious to see how they'll match up against Meridian High. As you see the three teams there, so we will have our round-robin group stage, and then we'll have our grand finals to crown a champion. Of course, this is all leading up to the club championships taking place on December 17th, where all 4 game titles in the Esports Tower have an end-of-season tournament to see who the champion of the season will be. Cannot wait. Been told there'll be some returning teams, some teams we haven't heard from in a while, and some other game titles, so that should be a ton of fun. But right now, we're going to crown our last champion of the Fall Rumble here in Overwatch. But before we do that, let's throw it over to Doc's Keys of the Game, presented by the Esports Tower, which are and Score Pro advice at esportstower.com, which are understand your comp and playstyle, focus on each fight, get good ultimate value. At the end of the day, the objective is greater than the kills. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. We'll have a pair of round-robin games. We'll kick things off with the Everest and the Fire Islands on Busan. Then we'll hop into a best-of-3 between Meridian High and the Fire Islands to see who will be heading to the grand finals and who will come out on top in week number 4. It is the Everest and Fire Islands on Busan. It'll be followed up by the Fire Islands taking on Meridian High. But here we go. Everest and Fire Islands. We'll see if the Fire Islands can pull off an upset to start off week number 4 as we start things on Mecha Base here between these two teams.
Yeah, already some very familiar faces on the side of the Everest, whereas Fire Islands, as you mentioned, now on a 6-man team. So we're going to see some new faces from the previous Rumble that we have casted here on the Boise State broadcast. But already out the gate, we're going to see the Everest playing to their strengths of having that higher individual play with Bonesaw on that Doomfist is something you're going to have to watch out for that the Fire Islands need to prioritize as they kind of went more of the high speed with the Tracer, not really fitting in the comp with the Mei, which is why the Lucio is going to fall first.
You see Bonesaw there picking up a triple kill for his team. It's only Monkey left alive, and you see there, it looks like the Everest are going to start out strong with an early win on the first team fight.
Yeah, they had the exact momentum that they needed. They took the fight where they wanted to. They made sure to get right up in the face of the Fire Islands, right by their door, or take the space and engage the fight when they wanted to, with Bonesaw engaging that. And now kicking things off with the Shatter. That's exactly what you want to see. But Monkey's there, able to get the 2-piece.
Monkey gets the flashbang as well. He gets the stun on a Diamond Dog, but unfortunately, Chum is Fum and not Doomfist will be able to pick up a couple of kills there. Frozen Phoenix now has the Shatter, looking to make a play for the Fire Islands to get back into this fight, but unfortunately, they are stuck in their spawn right now.
Yeah, it's a big issue we see with a lot of Busan just because of they pretty much have the 2 main ways of attacking this point is through this right door that so many teams push through, or through the far left, but then you're giving up that high ground advantage, which is why they're trying to push it so hard, and opening up with this amplification matrix gives them a good start.
Frozen Phoenix still looking for a Shatter as Nox does get taken out by Bonesaw on the backside. Chum is Fum gonna jump and get a kill. There's a Shatter. Able to pick up 3. The Deadeye will come out from Despacito and pick up 1 as well. So the Everest maintaining and sustaining on the point right now is not Doomfist. Above the point, gonna throw down an Amp Matrix. Look to finish off the rest of the team. As right now, Fire Islands just cannot find a way onto this point. throwing bodies at it, but they still have yet to get any percentages. They're going to lose a couple of members.
Yeah, they need to protect that backline as Bonesaw's just been going in on Nox consistently. And they just haven't had the peel that they need from the tanks to keep them alive.
Great pin there by Diamond Dog onto the May, and now we get final fight here for Fire Islands. They will have the Blizzard, and we'll see what they could do. You see Monkey is sneaking around with that Deadeye, looking for a big flank on that McCree, but if you're Fire Islands, you got to get to the point as May falls off the map for the final fight. It will be a 6-on-5 for the Everests. Despacito is able to take out that Immortality Field. The Shatter is going to pick up one, but a huge Diva Bomb from Radius Boss picks up Despacito. Sound Barrier is going to come out from Pando, though, to try and keep the team alive. And unfortunately, I don't think Fire Islands is going to be able to break through that shield. It's all up to the May, who suicided early on. Can they sustain with the Blizzard? The answer is going to be no. And the Everest will pick up map number 1.
Yeah, if you're the Fire Islands, I would definitely expect some intense words towards Muzi after kind of the throw of the final fight. I don't know how they suicided off the edge, but it definitely cost them that run because they had a solid push on point as that 5-man group. They had the ults to match Everest with the supports. We saw Dragon with the Sound Barrier to keep his team alive through the Diva Bomb and even through a couple of the other enemy ults. But now going over to the more open-sided map of Busan, we're not seeing Fire Islands kind of change up their comp, so the May will still suffer here, especially going up against this kind of high speed comp that the Everest are adopting with Despacito and the Tracer, the Wrecking Ball coming out, and now the Diva, the Genji, and the Brig. They're definitely sticking with this higher mobility that they can take the engagement where they want, eliminate those key targets like Monkey and Muzi that have been causing them issues, and secure the point without really any contention. So now it's going to be on the Fire Islands to have that target recognition to try to get in their backline and match the aggressiveness of the Everests.
Double anti's going to land. Radius Boss taken low, so is Nox, but it's actually Despacito who's the first one who's eliminated as the Fire Islands are up 1 and have an advantage early on in this fight. Looking for another elimination as Despacito comes back into the fight. Bonesaw trying to jump on the back line. Anti's going to land. Radius Boss dropping low, and Bonesaw will simply just dash away, and neither team able to find much value, though Despacito off of spawn jumps right onto the point. And now Bonefist and Bonesaw and not Doomfist both going to pick up kills, and unfortunately for the Fire Islands, that's where things go south for them as they lose Radius Boss Muzi as well.
Yeah, those rotations have really been hurting Fire Islands, as we always see the tanks go in first, the healers and the DPS try to catch up, and they always get caught out on those rotations. The tanks simply do not have enough time to peel back and try to protect those rotations, and it's definitely been hurting the Fire Islands a lot, especially getting poked by Despacito right out the gate with this Tracer. The May Cassidy combo is definitely not going to work in their favor, or as long as they can't get to a point. McCree's there trying to take out the Tracer, but will simply not there, but instead the Diva Bomb's going to kick things off.
Chumba's Fum can't find anything with the Diva Bomb, but a great freeze onto Dragon Shadow is going to get a double kill for Bonesaw. Despacito will go down, but unfortunately for the Fire Islands, they are in a 5-on-2 as Muzi and Monkey are going to just be forced to run away here and reset.
Yeah, they were very split apart in that push. We saw very early eliminations going on to a couple of the members of Fire Islands. They just need to have that higher level of team play. Hey, when they go in for these pushes, they are finally going to rotate all the way around, but they have to watch out for those Wrecking Ball to knock them all off right out the gate.
Nano's going to go on to Bonesaw there as we get the Nano Blade, and Bonesaw will follow it up with a quadra kill for himself. It's all up to Radius Boss, who will just simply suicide, and that is exactly how you draw that fight up for the Everest.
Yeah, the Fire Islands have not yet had a solid push where they can take the engagement that they want. Pulse Bomb also land on Phoenix as he's just coming right out the gate, so already going to have to commit a lot of that healing just to bring him back up. So Nox has definitely been an issue for the side of Fire Islands as he gets taken out first so early on, but I think that just speaks to the skill of Everest with that target recognition.
Rally comes out from Pando. Monkey's going to be the first one to fall. This time the Shatter does land on to 2, but neither of them will get eliminated as Muzi's going to be the next target for Diamond Dog and Company. They will go down. Pando is taken out, but in this final fight, that is the only elimination that Fire Islands are able to pick up here. They do get another one onto Despacito. There's a Sound Barrier that comes out from Dragon Shadow, trying to prolong overtime as long as possible here for the Fire Islands, but they just not found an elimination since that pick onto Despacito. We hear the Diva Bomb come out from Radius Boss and Chum is Fum. Chum is Fum will get picked off, and it looks like the Fire Islands might now finally be able to get back in this fight. As we see here, Diamond Dog and Despacito both going to pick up a pair of eliminations, and I think that will do it as the Fire Islands will get taken out there.
Yeah, they definitely got out-sustained by the Everest having that much higher mobility comp and just being able to dodge and weave from the Fire Islands when they ever tried to have a concisive team push. And definitely the Mei Cassidy was not the DPS that you need to try to deal with both the Genji and the Tracer. The Cassidy was definitely doing his best, but just getting double-teamed constantly by those two DPSs was causing him a lot of issues, and the Mei was not able to carry her way as she was taking out rotations a lot and kind of had some misplays on those Mei walls, cutting off her own team rotations from each other.
Everest once again holds serve there as the top team of the group, but we'll see how the Fire Islands can recover in our second game of the round robin. This one a full best of 3 series against Meridian High. We've not seen them in our Rumbles. We've heard they're a very young team. They're actually in the arena yesterday just getting some practice. So a very strong team, a local team, as Brenner said, as well for us here in the Boise area. So it should be exciting to see how they could do against the Fire Islands team that's been really focused and is improving, looking to make a move in that club championship at the end of the week. And a strong performance here would go a long way. The winner of this will advance. They'll take on the Everest in our grand finals, who look like the team to beat right now. But we'll see what Meridian High can do, because Fire Islands, I think that was definitely their most impressive map. I know they got 100-0'd both times, but they were at least trading even in some fights, Brenner, where in the past they had just been getting rolled over and hadn't picked up more than one elimination for an entire map at times.
Yeah, as you mentioned really early on, they are now an official team of 6. They're not having substitutes or people fill in, so they can now practice as a team and start learning, how each member works, who's best in what role and what hero, and how they can try to build that into a team composition that can start winning these matches. So I definitely agree. They've just been improving consistently, and we've seen that. As you mentioned, they're not getting completely rolled in the war. They're lasting in fights. They're getting a couple eliminations, trading every so often and trying to engage on their terms. They just need to understand that team comp a little bit more, and I think that just comes with time of playing with each other more. So I expect a solid future from them.
Well, the winner of this match will go on to the grand finals. Again, it's the Everest to wrap up week 4, and if it's the Fire Islands that win, they'll have some great momentum heading into that club championship coming up on the 17th. But let's hop into our second round robin game of the night, a best of 3 series. Never actually, we're going to take a quick break. I think we got some things going on here. Of course, Brendan and I are sitting in the dark. We do not want that. So we'll take a quick break. We will come back with Meridian High taking on the Fire Islands right after this.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome to Esports Tower. Our website offers over 350 different fan favorites that are fully customizable. To begin, click on the product category or featured item to get started. To further customize your new gear, click the blue View More Designs button and pick your favorite design. Thank you for visiting the Esports Tower store.
NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Welcome back into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Fisher Brenner here calling all of the action for our Overwatch Esports Tower Rumble week number 4, final week before the club championships. Somebody looking to be the final champion. Will be the Everest, or will Meridian High, or the Fire Islands of Esports Tower come away with a shocking win? We're going to find out who will join the Everest here, Brenner, in our grand finals. It will be Meridian High taking on the Fire Islands in a full best of 3. As we hop right into control, and we see Frozen Phoenix picking up a kill onto Neptune here right off the bat. And the Fire Islands look like they're going to be able to capture this, so a revive from Daydream is going to put Meridian Technical back at full life. Monkey, though, gets a pick onto Big Boofus. It looks like the Fire Islands in control.
Yeah, this has been a solid start for them so far. As we saw kind of kick things off, Daydream was already rezzing Fem Neptune, so they were able to utilize and take out that pharmacy that has been such an issue for teams in the past, with Daydream just kind of being that mercy carry.
So we see Frozen Phoenix and Muzi pick up a pair of eliminations. Monkey's going to get one as well, and Fire Islands is picking up kills. This is the best we've seen them perform, that full roster that we talked about, Brenner. Really coming through strong as they have the point once again.
Yeah, this is also a different roster than we've seen from Meridian Technical. Typically, we see Eternal Flame be that pharmacy with Daydream. So now with Fem Neptune on that, usually we've seen them also play tank. So this time it's going to be Soup and Big Boofus, kind of both playing off tanks. So it's definitely an interesting comp going up against Fire Islands, who have a much more solid comp. They definitely have a goal in mind of hack the target, go in on that target, especially with Frozen Phoenix able to dive them right in. So Fire Islands definitely having that team comp, but I think Meridian Technical can easily win on the individual play with this pharmacy, as well as JR on this Cassidy. So we have to just wait and see who engages with this first Nano.
The Nano is going to go on to Frozen Phoenix, and they are going to get pinned. They'll pop the Primal Rage to stay alive, but a Coalescence from Dragonfire is going to take out Radius Boss. So Meridian Technical sits up 1 as Fem Neptune will respawn, but Frozen Phoenix with Muzi getting an elimination. That Winston staying alive for so long with the Nano, trying to take out Daydream thanks to a great anti as well. Big Boof is going to pick up a kill, but unfortunately, we talk about it in Doc's Keys. The objective's better than the kills this entire time, Brenner. The objective's pushed up above 60% for the Fire Islands.
Yeah, the Fire Islands also coming out of that with kind of winning that team fight. They did start off losing a lot of members, and Meridian Technical didn't really move over to the point, as you mentioned, and it definitely has cost them. Right now, Daydream's definitely doing their best to keep their team alive, but Dragonfire with this more is also having the kind of high heals that they need. Does not help that Big Boofus and Soup have not been able to match the tanking potential of the Fire Islands, with both Radius Boss and Frozen Phoenix being such an issue. And with a great EMP landing on 3 members, Meridian Technical is already down a member.
Diva Bomb from Radius Boss can't quite find anything though, as Soup and Big Boofus will answer the call. They'll pick up a pair of eliminations onto the back line of the Fire Islands, and Nano's going to go on to Frozen Phoenix to at least get them into overtime. So even if they lose this point, they'll only have to win 1. But Monkey finds out Fem Neptune in the middle of a rocket barrage, and Fire Islands are going to turn this on Meridian Technical. There's only 1 man left. The Deadeye from JR is going to come out, but nobody's on the point. And the Fire Islands pick up map number 1 over Meridian Technical.
Yeah, it's definitely the benefit of having 2 tanks that can absorb the damage or even deny it, compared to Big Boofus on the Roadhog. Was able to win, you know, a couple 1v1s with the hook left click strat, but not being able to kind of provide a barrier or damage absorption for his team definitely cost him that. So now with Fem Neptune swapping over to the Doomfist and Daydream staying on the Mercy, this is definitely going to be an uphill battle, especially with JR sticking to the Cassidy and now swapping over to the Hanzo. So it seems that they kind of want to play both sides of have the long-range engagement with Hanzo trying to take out ALW, who's been doing very well, charging up a ton of nanos. Now Muzi's also going to match the Far and do his own, but going back to the Sombra, that worked out very well for them. That EMP landing on 3 members definitely helped them initiate that fight and eliminate JR so early on. So now all eyes are going to be on Fem Neptune to see if he can disrupt that back line that has been so solid for Fire Islands, but also going right into a break can be an issue.
Ooh, the halt nearly gripped somebody down into the hole. They get a stun on to Soup, and they will be the first target eliminated. Monkey will go down, and Radius Boss will get booped into the middle. A great environmental kill for Dragonfire there. We see Muzi on the back line. And as the point opens up, Big Boofus can't quite land the hook. ALW does get a pick onto Dragonfire, though, so it is an even fight as Soup and Radius Boss look to get back into the fight. Both teams looking for some environmental kills with the Roadhogs. As we see Monkey's now going to hop on top of Fem Neptune, and with that elimination plus Soup getting hacked and dropping low, Fire Islands look to be favored here as Radius Boss gets a pick. Fem Neptune right off the res, though. We'll be able to get one. Both Roadhogs go into each other. A great hook there for Big Boofus, though. We'll take them out, and the Fire Islands cannot maintain control as Meridian Technical picked up the point first.
Yeah, at this point, it's just going to be contest for as long as you can and build up that percentage as Fire Islands have definitely been trying to get it back with Monkey taking out Daydream once again, knowing his target and being able to execute on it. But Soup being solo, not having a healer to get him back, might get taken out by Monkey as the Amplifier comes out to who maintain Fire Island's presence on this point, but they have yet to cap it.
And another elimination. ALW racking up kills in the kill feed. Monkey looking to hop on JR, and this should be enough to flip the point here, and it will for Fire Islands, and they get back in control.
Yeah, Fire Islands also having the ult advantage. Meridian Technical very close to matching them as the Dragons did come out for JR and wasn't able to be the game changer that they needed to secure the point, as Monkey also just used that pulse bomb and was not able to capitalize on it. The Sombra even getting scouted out by Dragonfire, so that's an early lead for this team fight that Meridian Technical needs.
Valkyrie's going to get popped there from Daydream. We get the rally from Dragon Shadow. The Nano's going to go on to Radius Boss with the whole hog. As Soup not able to get a kill with the Shatter, but once again, Dragonfire, another environmental kill here. Daydream going to get that revive onto Soup, alleviating some of that pressure. And the Fire Island still holding on, but just barely, as they're going to lose another member. ALW down. They'll just try and stall out on the point for as long as possible until Meridian Technical will flip it at 43.
Yeah, that early Sombra pick was fantastic, and watching Dragonfire this whole time, he got both boops onto both tanks of Fire Islands, which definitely gave them the lead that they needed. Now JR swapping over to Soldier 76 is exactly what they needed, just a higher damage output as the Hanzo was not working out for them as well as possible, and he will also help burn down Radius Boss on that hog and break that Orisa shield.
Oh, Fem Neptune almost landed the stun and the double headshot onto Muzi. ALW is able to pick up a kill onto Fem Neptune. That puts the Fire Islands up one. We'll see if they can take this fight. They get a great pick onto Daydream as well, but Dragonfire, with I think his third environmental kill of the map, keeps Meridian Technical in the fight here, keeping that point up to 87%. Even has the sound barrier as well. Soup will go down, but the Fire Islands just simply cannot find a way to eliminate this Lucio. As ALW will get picked off, they will go for a reset, but a great play there from Dragonfire.
Yeah, that's a big issue with Ilios Wallace. Everyone plays around the Roadhog and the Lucio, and Fire Islands not having that Lucio has definitely cost him with how many environmentals that Dragonfire has gotten. As you mentioned, it's 3 to 4 at this point. It's probably going to continue to skyrocket. But Meridian Technical got that 97% as Fire Islands finally trying to build up their own, but they have to watch out for Big Boofus and Dragonfire as they've been getting all the environmental kills, so they have to play so far back that as soon as Meridian Technical gets on top of them, they're already down in the fight. And taking out Radius Boss once again so early on is the lead Meridian Technical needs.
Big Boofus and Soup both picking up kills. The whole hog's going to get popped for Big Boofus, and that feels like that is going to end this round and send us to a round 3. We'll see if the Fire Islands have a play in them. Down 3 already. The respawns come out. They're going to get a 5-man EMP for Boozy, but unfortunately, it's just not going to matter. Meridian Technical will survive through it. They're going to pop the visor, and we're heading to a map number 3 here.
Yeah, Meridian Technical had a solid hold. They knew how to play well to all the keys that they needed, and they played it fantastically. I mean, Dragonfire was easily one of the carries of that match, getting so many boops into the center, especially onto so many of the tanks that just simply were unaware of how dangerous a Lucio can be that's that good on that map. So they definitely paid for it, bringing us to map number 3, as you mentioned, for Ilios. And now with the kind of comp swamps coming in already, Muzi's back on that Doomfist, and hopefully we'll be able to capitalize, taking out the back line of Meridian Technical that was kind of instrumental in how well they were able to hold on to the point and just out-sustain Fire Islands as the they were playing that like half and half. Half of them was behind Soup with JR trying to burn down the shields, as the other half was going right in trying to get the environmentals and winning those 1v1s. They have that higher individual play as Fire Islands, but Marine Technical has the better individual play, but Fire Islands has been showing a stronger team play. But now Muzi on the Echo, a very high potential DPS with that duplicate. It's going to have to be someone you watch out for, but does not have the pocket mercy like Marine Technical with Daydream. So this will be an interesting matchup for sure, but Big Boof is off to a good start.
Found the flank onto Monkey, but Soup will go down. A double anti's going to land onto Dragon Shadow and Radius Boss. It will unfortunately cost Radius Boss his mech, as Meridian Technical is going to unlock the point first. They are dropping low. JR cannot get away from Frozen Phoenix, who will hop right back onto the point and into a Junkrat trap. But another elimination for ALW, and just like that, the Fire Islands have hopped onto the point, look to flip it as we see Radius Boss able to re-mech here, but they lose 2 immediately afterwards. Dragon Shadow, the next target. Once again, though, Soup goes down. Here is the Riptire. This could mean everything for Meridian Technical, but they can't quite find the elimination, and Muzi finds Fem Neptune in the middle of that ultimate. But neither team able to come up with an edge. As we see, it looks like this is going to be a reset finally from the Fire Islands.
Yeah, Meridian Technical was able to, through that entire team fight, finish it out with 40% on the board. And Big Boof was even able to hook the Echo and take her out so early and just stalls them out for that much more free time. They get a whole extra 10% out of it, and a great sleep onto Radius Boss is already going to slow down their push just that much more. And they have the ult advantage going into this Fire Islands, trying to close that distance, opening things up with the rally.
Soup, though, with the ante taken very low, barely survives, throws out the shatter onto Radius Boss, and a great sleep onto ALW in the backline, but Soup will go down. Monkey's going to pick up an elimination. Daydream does get the revive onto Soup and somehow stays alive with the Valkyrie. Never mind. Now finally going down to Monkey as we see Radius Boss is able to re-mech, and the Fire Islands once again hop on top of the point, and this time feels like they're going to be able to pick this one up as it'll flop to their side.
Yeah, they had that target priority down. Even with all the ults, Meridian Technical had to commit to it. Fire Islands definitely played that phenomenally. That's why I like to touch on how they have the higher team play going up against Meridian Technical, where they have the better individual play going up against Fire Islands. But now with the 4 ults on the side of Fire Islands, this should be an easy team fight, especially starting with the Nano.
Nano's going to go on to Frozen Phoenix. Monkey and Muzi going to pick up a pair of eliminations. Frozen Phoenix doesn't even have to pop the Primal Rage to be able to be a menace on the back line. Now has to drop away. Does end up popping the Primal Rage a little bit late just to try and stay in live. Looking to try and burn down JR on this soldier. But getting pocketed the whole time by Daydream. Will stay alive now. Frozen Phoenix put to sleep and going to be immediately burned down, overstaying his welcome just a little bit.
Yeah, that's the issue with the Primal Rage Monkey, is you just get carried away swinging and immediately got burned down as soon as he lost the 1,000 health boost. And now Daydream with another res. They have not been able to contest these, but can usually quickly eliminate Daydream afterwards. But JR with the sides coming out, able to take out Muzi. This Echo without a pocket mercy has been such an issue for Fire Islands that I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him swap off after using this duplicate, not having a pocket mercy.
Fire Islands only has maybe one more fight left in them, as well as the point goes above 90%. So we'll see if they can. They found so many picks onto Soup, but they haven't been able to find consistent team fight wins. They'll have 2 ultimates available. A great hook for Big Boofus, though, onto Muzi. Going to pop that duplicate onto the Roadhog. As Fem Neptune is the first one to go down. Soup will go off the edge, but is able to take Radius Boss's mech down. Before that happens, the duplicate will fade, but it looks like it's going to be enough. They finally stop Daydream after the revive. Big Boofus will get burned down, and Fire Islands will keep themselves alive here, but they cannot afford to lose another fight.
Yeah, Monkey was definitely popping off there on the Tracer, causing so many issues for the backlane. We saw the Pulse Bomb onto Dragonfire, taking out the main support, then clearing up the remaining DPS of Meridian Technical. But now, with them on the attack, not having any ults going to this fight, whereas Fire Islands has both the Nano and the Rally, it's definitely going to be an uphill battle. But if they get those right early picks onto the supports, they can easily take this, or even a pick onto the Winston could end things well. But a 4-man anti and sleep is not what you want to see if you're Meridian Technical.
Punish on to Fem Neptune and Dragonfire. Monkey will get one more as well before Big Boofus picks up one, but the problem is Meridian Technical waited so long to take that fight that was the only chance they're going to get. They could try and swap over. Frozen Phoenix going to try and hold them in the spawn. They're not going to be able to make it there. They just waited too long to pull the trigger, so the Fire Islands pick up their map win and are now on match point, and a chance at the grand finals await them.
Yeah, I believe that was actually one of the first times we've seen Fire Islands come away with a win, but it took them 4 weeks, but they were able to do it up against the newcomer into this Esports Tower Rumble of Meridian High. So good on them. I'm very proud to see them get that win. So now continuing on this best of 3, I'm curious how Marine Technical might try to combat this, seeing the skill level of the Fire Islands.
Yeah, Fire Islands looking very strong now that they have a full roster. They're on match point for the grand finals, but we're going to take a quick break. We will be back with the conclusion of this and our grand finals of the Week 4 Overwatch Rumble right after this. Hello and welcome back into the Boise State Gate Pants Esports Arena. Got Week 4 of the Overwatch Esports Tower Rumble coming at you. It is Esports Fire Island and Meridian Technical right now taking each other on here. It is map number 2. It is Watch Point Gibraltar that is about to be upon us. And Fire Island's runner is 1 game away from advancing to the grand finals, which would be huge for them because that would be a tremendous amount of growth.
Yeah, some exciting times ahead for sure. This could be the first time we see them in the grand finals, which would definitely be a huge statement to how much they have improved over this 4-week period. So definitely some exciting things to look forward to, especially with Marine Technical losing that first round but coming back. Was definitely a sight to see, winning the round 2 of the best of 3 for Control, but now heading into the next mode, hopefully we can see them bring it back and kind of regroup after scouting out the Fire Islands team and how well they've improved over time if they've been watching our previous broadcast. So hopefully we can see that improvement occur and maybe even Daydream swapping off the Mercy, which we know is all heresy, but we could possibly see them do it.
Yeah, the winner of this goes on to play the Everest in the grand finals this week. Of course, the Everest and the Fire Islands preparing for the club championships coming up at the end of the week in the Esports Tower, which should be a ton of fun. And it'd be a huge growth for the Fire Islands to make it to the grand finals in this previous Rumble. We will see that. We'll hop on to Watch Point Gibraltar. Fire Islands need just 1 map in this best of 3 to advance. Well, Meridian Technical is going to have to come out with the mini reverse sweep. I think you're right, though. Maybe Daydream. If they want to stay on the Mercy, they're going to have somebody on that Pharah or on that Echo, because if that is not the case, then they are not going to come away with much success. Just a solo Mercy as we hop into this map.
Yeah, they were able to carry their weight, but then all eyes are going to be on the other healer of what they pick to try to complement that solo high healing from the Mercy to try to keep the rest of his team alive, which is what we normally see with a Lucia who try to succeed if they have either, the Ana or even the Moira, sometimes the Baptiste. Baptiste has usually been the fan favorite, and especially here on Watch Point Gibraltar where they can utilize so much of the high ground and verticality of this map. We do see the Echo with the silhouettes, but I don't believe they have a pocket Mercy, which we saw them do last time, so that would lead me to believe that this is the team of the Fire Islands with Muzi on the Echo as we saw last map. We'll have to wait and see till we clue in. I believe Meridian Technical is still in the red based off the board. They are bringing a Pharah, but doesn't even have the Mercy with her. The Mercy's actually still on the ground, so it will be a sky battle in this matchup.
There's still Daydream on that Mercy, but as you said, pocketing the Pharah this time as Dragonfire is the first one eliminated, but Muzi will follow shortly after, and Daydream has gotten so much value with these reses as Soup now gets a pick onto Frozen Phoenix. Monkey will get the elimination onto Neptune, but it looks like the point is just going to be pushed the whole time as Meridian Technical gets under the hardest part of this first point.
Yeah, I'm surprised Monkey's able to get an elimination onto the Pharah from the ground. Definitely is going to have to keep her eye up, and especially with JR being the counter to the Tracer, you're going to have a hard time. So all eyes are going to be on Monkey to try to outperform these 2 DPS players from Meridian Technical, as well as getting an elimination so early on for this first checkpoint.
Frozen basically got stuck in a 1v6. Muzi put to sleep, goes down as well. Nox will follow, and Radius Boss out of the mech, and just like that, Meridian Technical makes quick work of the first point here on Watch Point Gibraltar.
Yeah, Frozen Phoenix just now walking out of spawn. Big Boof is trying to take as much space as possible. This is definitely where Fire Islands can come back, as this is the indoor part of this map. And Fem Neptune and Daydream are definitely going to have a hard time, but if they are not able to contest these two, it will not end well.
They're just pushing. That double pin's going to knock down Soup and beat his undoing. And I think that loss of the Reinhardt is going to force Meridian Technical to reset there. The hook's going to miss on to Monkey, who's been hanging out in the back line the entire time. But without their Reinhardt, Meridian Tech just has got to retreat.
Yeah, Meridian Technical sticking to this Roadhog no matter what, and that's exactly why able to hook Muzi out and get an early elimination, but they make sure to even that out, taking out Fem Neptune. So they definitely just need to regroup at this point and have a solid push. They have 330 on the board. They have plenty of time to sacrifice a little, regroup, have everyone alive, and go for a solid push, especially since they have the even ult soon to be the advantage. But Fire Islands does have that high ground, and Monkey's definitely playing the peak Tracer of their life, being such a nuisance. They just have to watch out for that Roadhog hook along with this Pharmacy combo.
Fem Neptune almost up to another Rocket Barrage. We saw how big the last one was. Nano's going to go on to Frozen Phoenix, who wins the battle of the Reinhardt. He gets an elimination on to Soup. As we see JR and Radius Boss in a bit of a battle. Radius Boss going to go hunting now for that Cassidy. But neither team really able to find a pick. JR going to get flanked, realizes that, just going to jump off the high ground, but will get eliminated by Dragon Shadow before being able to get back to the rest of their team. And that's going to make this push just a little bit harder. And I think Meridian Technical waits for their full members online as there's the revive. We'll see if they're able to punish Daydream. They're not. The Nano's going to go out onto Soup. Shatter comes out from Frozen Phoenix and from Soup. Neither able to find much value, but Fem Neptune looking for the back line value with this Rocket Barrage. Frozen Phoenix goes down. Solo Rocket Barrage going to take out Muzi, get a pick onto Dragon Shadow as well. And with Knock being eliminated, that should be enough for Meridian Technical to work their way towards the point.
Yeah, this is where we're going to see the all-out brawl coming in as all the members are going to even swap over from Frozen Phoenix to that Wrecking Ball. So it's all-out stall. The Rally going to engage this. Looks like Fire Islands are looking to hold them.
Oh, a huge triple kill right off the spawn. That's going to just be a simple reset for Meridian Technical.
Yeah, very quick, very clean, and seems they're immediately going to swap back to the Reinhardt as they did not end up needing the Wrecking Ball with how quickly they could clean that up. Meridian Technical also swapping over to the Sombra, trying to just end this as quickly as possible, get a hack early on, take out one of the key members of Fire Islands, and just secure the point with how close it is. They do have a minute 30 to do so, so they have about 3, maybe 4 more team fights with how quickly they can execute this.
Deadeye going to get popped, and Monkey will just gun down JR before they're able to find anything. The revive is going to come out, but you see Monkey is on the back line. His Soup will go down, and Meridian Technical could just not break this final wall to Fire Islands. Daydream trying to keep his team alive. And I think Fire Islands is just waiting for a pick as Dragonfire drops low, but the Nano is up. It is going to be used on the Radius Boss. And that Diva is going to charge in, does get put to sleep. A great job there by Dragonfire to burn most of that Nano time, but Meridian Technical is the one that's got to push, not the Fire Islands.
Yeah, and right now Soup has definitely been trying to do the push so far, but Daydream with the Battle Mercy able to take out Frozen Phoenix. That's the pick they needed to secure this cart on the 3rd checkpoint, trying to take out the Diva quickly after.
Pulse Bomb does come out, and the mech from Radius Boss will go down. Monkey goes down as well. Those are 2 huge picks from Meridian Technical, who are down to the final 30 seconds. As Soup gets a 4-man shatter. 3 members go down, make it 4 and 5. And just like that, Meridian Technical will pick up the map 3, or the 3-point here on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Going to make it very hard for the Fire Islands to send this to overtime.
Yeah, they finally were able to match the aggressiveness of their tank Soup and follow him in for once he was not charging in by himself. So now heading into the defense, it's going to be all eyes on Meridian Technical's tanks of where they decide to hold it, with Big Boofus refusing to get off this Roadhog. Has been able to work for them, but with Soup charging in, he leaves the back lane so exposed that Big Boofus is never able to push up and be that one-man army that Roadhog is. And also the Pharmacy combo for Meridian Technical was working out very well, kind of too well, especially on this indoor part. Fire Islands was not able to capitalize on the closed indoor spaces as they just let the cart completely push through. So hopefully here on defense we'll see a much harder hold here from either team on this indoor part.
Fire Islands are going to have to work quickly. Meridian Technical basically was not contested on the way to the first point and only had a small hiccup on the way to the second point, as Brenner mentioned, only losing 1 fight. We'll see how fast the Fire Islands can go. Can they get into overtime? It did take quite a while for Meridian Technical to get that 3rd point, which is usually the case, especially on Escort. Anytime that team has the respawn advantage can be hard unless you get a full team wipe like Meridian Technical did at the end there. We will see how they want to defend against the Fire Islands. With a shot in the grand finals on the line for the Fire Islands. Well, meanwhile, Meridian Technical needs to win this map to get us to a game 3 and have a winner take all.
Yeah, and already we can see Fire Islands kind of sticking with the same comp we saw them with the first time round they were on this first checkpoint was, you know, the Echo, the Ana, the Brig, trying to play it close to the cart, but already we're going to see the sneaky Torb coming out from Fem Neptune, which could definitely work here against that Echo, seeing as they do not have that Pocket Mercy to match Meridian Technical with Daydream on that side. But now Daydream also does not have, you know, the far to try to get that quick escape, so they're definitely going to be utilizing this verticality element.
JR gets the first pick onto Muzi. And the Fire Islands just simply cannot find a way in. This is great high ground control from Meridian Tactical. Monkey trying to do as much damage as they can on this Echo, but taking a ton in return, so they're going to be forced to retreat as Frozen Phoenix jumps in and is immediately eliminated. The Radius boss will take Dragonfire off the edge. That is a huge one-for-one trade if you're the Fire Islands, but unfortunately, they're just not able to push the payload right now.
Yeah, that's a big issue running a Winston with a Diva. You need to push together, and they did not have the momentum. Same with Muzi and Monkey. They need to be pushing together to have that damage output to win these 1v1s, but with JR and Frozen Phoenix jumping by himself, it cost him the life, and Fire Islands is once again have to reset, losing their main tank so early on.
Frozen Phoenix has been very aggressive as we get the Torbjorn POV. Keeping the turret nice and healthy as Radius boss will go down, and Fire Islands can't even make it underneath the bridge, which is the hardest part of the first point of Watch Point Gibraltar. As we see Frozen Phoenix once again going to jump on the back line. High ground finally being stolen away from Meridian Technical. They do have the Molten Core available as Soup picks up a double kill and a revive onto JR. Once again is going to put them at full life and at full health here as the Fire Islands actually on the wrong side. It looks like Meridian Technical is the one attacking, but that is not the case. They're pushing that payload backward ever so slowly.
Yeah, and the worst part is Fire Islands just has the two members all by themselves. However, the Winston's able to escape, and Nox will get taken down.
You see Soup sustaining very well. The Primal Rage popped by Frozen Phoenix, barely hanging on. Monkey, though, kills the most important member of Meridian Technical. That is Daydream. No revive available. 5 ults up for Fire Islands if they want to rip them all in quick succession as they wait for a reset here and come up with a plan.
Yeah, it's definitely just been waiting on Frozen Phoenix to get this first point because he just jumps in by himself so consistently as we see him do exactly that, but now he has a team to follow it up.
See, the duplicate's going to come out on to the Reinhardt, but Monkey's going to get immediately shattered. The Deadeye is going to get up an elimination as well, and for all of those ultimates, it's Meridian Technical on the back of a Shatter, a Nano, and a Molten Core. That sent Fire Islands running for the hill, and now there's only 60 seconds left.
Yeah, Torbjorn's the defensive hero you need here, and that Molten Core paid off in dividends as well with that Shatter, as you mentioned, just counteracting Fire Islands. It seems they're going to go for the exact same push, and if it's broken, don't fix it. But this is definitely broken because it's not working. But now it seems that Marine Technical is just going to drop down right on top of them.
Double Nano comes out, a Diva Bomb from Radius Boss, can't find anything. The Immortality Field from Nox will barely keep them alive. Valkyrie going to be used by Daydream, a nice pin and an anti onto Radius Boss. And a huge 3-man Shatter comes out from Soup as well. Those team is already down a pair of members. JR does get revived. Radius Boss will get demaxed, but there's no eliminations yet for Meridian Technical. Only 30 seconds left. The Primal Rage pop from Frozen Phoenix, taking quite a bit of damage. But does manage to take down Fem Neptune with Soup going down as well. This feels like the break that Fire Islands finally needed, and they should be able to pick up at least 1 point here on Watch Point Gibraltar and keep this game going.
Yeah, if Meridian Technical can rally in time, they will be able to have one last team fight. They can definitely make it with the time on the board and how much further the car has to go, especially with only 2 members, not full 3 pushing out as fast as possible. They can get one last recontest here, so all eyes are going to be on this whole hog.
Huge amount of damage onto Frozen Phoenix, and the huge elimination with Dragonfire there as well. The whole hog, as you mentioned, being held onto by Big Boofus. He's just going to rip it now, take out the Immortality Field, take out Nox, but a huge double pulse bomb from Muzi keeps the Fire Island just barely in the fight. It's all up to Monkey to try and sustain an overtime. Wait for Frozen Phoenix to get back onto the point, but he will be gunned down, and Meridian Technical will pick up the win, and they will send us to a map 3.
Yeah, we had the Hog POV, and as soon as he ulted, he just went right in on Nox. And Monkey not having that Pocket Mercy was definitely detrimental to securing that second point. So Meridian Technical, a well-deserved second map win.
Well, if you want to going at it alone can only get you so far. Ultimately, if you want to increase your chances of success, you have to level up your teaming skills. We've seen that with the Fire Islands. They look like the better team, as Brenner said, but Meridian Technical has the slightly better individual play, and that has gotten us to a map number 3. The Esports Tower really takes time to create teams of well-matched teammates. I want to give a shout-out to the coaches. If you're watching and you haven't checked out Esports Tower clubs yet, you should. It is a fast track to rank up. We go to our third map now. It is hybrid, so you most likely will get Kings Row, but we'll wait on confirmation for that, Brenner. But it felt like there, actually, never mind, it's going to be Assault, not hybrid. So I'll be curious to see what map we're going to get. Probably Temple of Anubis, and I think this will be interesting. Which team do you think is favored going into Assault based off the first 2 maps we've seen?
I mean, it's hard not to say the Meridian Technical because they have that pharmacy already built into their roster and how well they have it worked out. And going up against Fire Islands, who hasn't really had the diversity of those team plays to have kind of counteract, different builds that they might be running. We've seen them kind of run the consistent of dive-ish, but it hasn't really been working out for them. We want to see them kind of change off of that. And both tanks from either side, both Soup and Frozen Phoenix, have kind of been diving in by themselves, which have been costing them. But at least Meridian Technical has been able to follow up Soup and win that, whereas Frozen Phoenix is just getting taken out so early on, and that's just leads to the end of the team fight so consistently.
I mean, that was basically the difference between the first 2 maps where Fire Islands went on control. It was Soup just getting picked off time after time, and on Watchpoint Gibraltar, it was Frozen Phoenix, as you said, getting picked off time after time. So it is on to Temple of Anubis here between the Fire Islands of the Esports Tower and Meridian Technical. The winner of this map move on to our best of 5 grand finals against the Everest, who are looking very, very strong in the limited action we've seen and definitely came in as the favorite tonight. We will see who pulls out the win. Again, we've got the club championships for Esports Tower coming up on Friday, so the Fire Islands would love some momentum building going into that. But we'll see if they can figure out that pharmacy combo and which of the 2 main tanks between Soup and Frozen Phoenix will have the follow-up they need when they jump in to be able to win a team fight and not just be the first one eliminated.
Yeah, they got the Junkrat spam on the side for Meridian Technical, but the double barrier on the side of Fire Islands could be the stop of what they need. But already starting off with the left rotation, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it looks like they're just going to teleport right up top, going for the flanking maneuver.
That's a great little teleport there from Meridian Technical. The Fire Islands turn around in time, though, and read it as you see JR dropping very, very low, but no eliminations quite yet. They've got great high ground control as well. Immortality Field taken down. Big Boofus gets stuck on the wall. Muzi able to pick up a pair of eliminations. And so even with the cheeky teleport, Meridian Technical will find nothing. They won't even get a tick on the point.
Yeah, they had no way to contest that high ground whatsoever going into both the Torbjorn and the Echo. And when they were turned down to the point, they went off to that right side from their perspective because they were backing into it, right into the building. So they're not even contesting the point. They're just trying to hide, and they just cornered themselves and got eliminated so quickly. And already Monkey winning the air battles against Fem Neptune, but now Daydream back on this Mercy for the pocket. So hopefully we will see some great pharmacy plays and some even air battles between them and Monkey. So it already is kicking off.
Monkey's going to get another elimination onto Fem Neptune. And I think that might be a reset, but you can see there on the silhouette, Meridian Technical is going to keep pushing, but Monkey is in on the back line, sees Daydream, has the duplicate, going to rip it right onto that Reinhardt as Frozen Phoenix goes down, so the backup tank will be huge. A nice pin and shatter will come out before the duplicate is broken. So that's the only elimination the Fire Islands are going to pick up there. And we'll see if they can find one more. Monkey now back in the Echo form, looking to rip some damage. Now they have to be careful. Is Fem Neptune not going to have that Mercy pocket? But right now, Meridian Technical is just pushing on to the point. Muzi will go down, so despite the early eliminations, it's Meridian Technical who's going to pick up a 5-kill there, and they're going to hop onto that first point.
Yeah, Daydream not even needing to pocket their Pharah, just kind of being the main healer on the ground, keeping the brawl alive for this Ryan and Zarya, as JR is able to take Monkey out of the sky, as Neptune's just taking out Muzi and the support back line with those high damaging rockets, as the patch just increased their impact damage, but not so much their radius. Taking out the turret so early on as well, putting that onto cooldown. This is definitely could be the snowball mode of Assault coming out here.
That's a huge pick for Fem Neptune. We do get a 3-man shatter as well for Soup, who's dropping very low. Immortality Field's going to be able to keep him alive here. Gravitic Flux from Radius Boss could be the momentum turner as they get a grab from Big Boofus plus the tack visor from JR. but they're just trading even, which always will favor the defending team because of the close respawns. It eventually ends up being a team kill for Meridian Technical, but we'll see if they can wrap up this map. They get 1 tick, they get 2 ticks, and they might get a 3rd here, Brenner. They don't, as the Wrecking Ball is able to roll in, and I think these 2 members of Meridian Technical are not long for this world, as Soup will go down.
Yeah, they went down swinging, though, able to take out Nox's final breath. It was only the 2 tank players remaining, which is actually very surprising, as they're the frontline tanks, and they managed to survive it all, whereas everyone else got eliminated on both sides. They even got the team kill and got the 2 ticks, as you mentioned. They got so close to the last one, you can see from that percentage at 93%. And they have the ult advantage going into this because they had to commit so much to defend for the Fire Islands. We saw that Molten Core get a lot of value, but now not having it, I wouldn't be surprised in seeing a swap from the Torp, especially now with Monkey on this Tracer. Her going up against JR on this Cassidy could be an issue, but we've seen this matchup before, and each side has come out on top. It just depends on who gets the engagement first, but it looks like Monkey's trying to build up that pulse bomb to get it right in the back lane. Is just going to have to watch out for Fem Neptune.
Fem Neptune had pushed forward, does not have the Daydream pocket, but does have the Rocket Barrage. Has to be very, very careful. Is getting jumped up on, only has 42 HP. Got to try and find a way to join the rest of the team, as Monkey will end up getting that elimination. Soup will go down as well. Valkyrie did get popped there by Daydream. A Pulse Bomb does come out from Monkey, and that is going to be a reset here for Meridian Technical, down 3 and make it 4 and 5.
Yeah, that was definitely a huge issue of not having that Pocket Mercy. We saw them just get poked down solo by Monkey on this Tracer, which is why Fem Neptune was not able to get in that engagement as quickly as they should have. So definitely Daydream not sticking to their Mercy has cost them, and now Fem Neptune's just having to play the best solo Pharah of their life. Doesn't have to worry about the Echo anymore, but Monkey has definitely been the star player of the Fire Islands so far. Now having to go with another push. They still have that barrage. They definitely need to use it and hopefully swap off this Pharah that hasn't been getting as much value as you want to see on this final point with how open it is. But Monkey's just been able to contest it so often, and always going to have to be watching out for that Torp turret as well. So just sticking on the ground is what they need to do.
That's a huge pick onto Monkey. Rocket Barrage going to be used solo. At least does pick up Radius Boss. But the rest of the team did not push in, so both those eliminations will be wasted there as we get a Supercharger, and the Ant Matrix going to get thrown down by Boba the Baptiste. We get the Molten Core from Muzi being charged once again, and unfortunately Meridian Technical just cannot break this stall of the Fire Islands. They've already lost a minute off the clock, and Monkey's going to respawn to make this a full 6-on-6 once again. As Fem Neptune looking for the pick. There's 2 huge ones onto the back line of Fire Islands. Can they get the rest of the members down before they respawn? Monkey and Dragon Shadow, just like that, are going to come back, and you see how punishing the assault mode is if you can't finish off the entire team, Brenner. They're getting these picks, but they're not making any progress on the point because everyone else is able to stay alive. A Deadeye is going to come out from JR, not able to find anything. Gravitic Flux from Radius Boss is available, but not going to be used here. Not quite yet.
Just a prolonged brawl no matter what. Finally, the Whole Hog's coming out. This is the ult we want to see, taking out Radius Boss before he could use the Gravitic Flux. This is exactly what they needed to do, but as you mentioned, trades are always going to favor the defenders, and they just need to go for a simple reset here with only 30 seconds remaining.
They got it up to 96% at least, but they're going to have to try one more time with JR and Daydream going down, and they might not get a full last fight, and the ult advantage rests squarely on Fire Island shoulders.
We've seen Meridian win against the odds before in previous battles when they didn't have the ultimate advantage, but all eyes are going to be on Daydream to try to pocket this far that whenever he hasn't been pocketed, always loses. And the Gravitic Flux with the Molten Core is not what you want to see, because that is not a good combo.
Doesn't find much. Finally, Daydream and Dragonfire go down. So do Big Boobas and Soup, and it looks like 96% is where it will stay for Meridian Technical, because Fire Islands end up with a fantastic defensive hold, and they give themselves a chance to win this map.
Yeah, that rally definitely helped keep many of those members alive, and as we keep stating, it's always going to favor the defenders with how close their spawns are. So Meridian Technical needed a solid engagement, but never had that, as they just simply ran out of time. That's second to last team fight was just a way too long, prolonged brawl. Yes, they got that extra 3%, but they weren't able to cap it off as they were just trading members way too often. Daydream not able to pocket the far, allowing them to reach their full capacity, was definitely damning to the team as well. So, and they never swapped off the Fire either, which I definitely think they should have done after that. Trading Barrage would have been able to give them a different tool for their toolkit to try to counteract the Fire Islands. So now on the defense going up against Fire Islands, I've definitely seen Meridian Technical on a stronger defense, especially after Watchpoint Gibraltar. So I think here on Assault, they can definitely hold Fire Islands much longer, assuming Fire Islands doesn't pocket their Echo again, which was an interesting choice, but I think they might go for the same Symbral that Meridian Technical just did. We do see the Tracer, but I do not know who the final one is. It possibly might even be a Widow. I'm just guessing through silhouettes at this point.
Be curious to see. I think that Symbral attempt didn't really work well for Meridian Technical. It was a nice effort, but they kind of got spotted out and got turned on. We will see, though, what happens. Winner of this game goes on to play the Everest in the grand finals for week 4. And has a chance to be the last Rumble champion of the fall here.
They do have the Symmetra, so maybe they will go for the same teleport to play or a different one. We have to wait and see. Going right into the faces of Meridian Technical, though.
And they're going to teleport right on top. Nox is going to be taken out. Frozen Phoenix looking for a flank on the low ground. Going to hop onto the point, but going to just get surrounded. Radius Boss is also going to get surrounded up on the high ground, though. Monkey does pick up one elimination on a Daydream, which is huge. The problem is the rest of his team is not able to sustain. We see Frozen Phoenix go down. Radius Boss somehow staying alive. But you can see it's just going to be a retreat here for Fire Islands. They want to wait for Frozen Phoenix.
Yeah, this could definitely be an issue for Fire Islands. Is they tried the Symmetra play, wasn't able to work, and didn't swap off of it. Maybe they're going to try it one last time, but Neptune holding this high ground with the Junkrat, trying to get rid of Monkey, who's just been such a nuisance, but at least they have the Baptiste to try to counteract this verticality that Fire Islands did not utilize. And finally, Monkey goes down, so already off to a good start.
They do trade it out for Fem Neptune, but the revive from Daydream that they've gotten all day long puts this once again in an even fight, and a 3-man shatter onto the remaining members of the Fire Islands will make quick work of them, and they'll be forced to reset once again.
Yeah, Soup finally playing with his team, not as aggressive, definitely got in the right headspace for this. And now also having Big Boofus on the Orisa, a new face than the Roadhog that we've seen all matchup, has definitely been paying off for them. Having the Junkrat just being able to lob the nades, as well as Jerry trying to get those early snipes, makes Fire Islands push much harder. And now Muzi swapping over to the Echo is not what you want to see going up against these two DPS without even a Pocket Mercy. I do not expect them to last very long.
Monkey looking for that back flank. Has the pulse bomb, gonna dash in, get a nice stick there onto Big Boofus, but not able to get the elimination and will get stunned as they drop onto the point. Valkyrie's gonna get popped, and unfortunately for Monkey, the rest of their team is being eliminated as Muzi and Nox go down. Soup will fall, but another fantastic revive for Daydream, and that will just send the Fire Islands retreating once again. A pick onto Frozen Phoenix will be huge. We know how much they wait for him, but he's able to survive, so they won't have to reset for nearly as long.
Yeah, but Daydream getting these constant uncontested reses, as well as Soup just holding the front line, not being as aggressive, just letting Fem Neptune lob these nades and then get free damage. So much has just been such an issue for Fire Islands, and Muzi has not been able to utilize their verticality at all because they have JR to shoot him right out of the skies. Same with Monkey now on the May. Definitely an interesting team go.
Their tire only takes out the Baby Diva. We'll see if the Fire Islands look for a reset as there are less than 60 seconds left. Frozen Phoenix and Soup in a duel. A huge 4-man shatter comes out for Soup, but it was kind of away from the rest of his team. We talked about it, had been a bit too aggressive, so JR and Soup will go down looking to punish that shatter. 60 seconds left. Meridian Technical, if they win this fight, would be huge, but Dragonfire going down with Big Boofus at very low HP means the Fire Islands should be able to hop onto this point. They have the shatter available as well if they need to use it to be able to pick up this point. We see an Ant Matrix up on the high ground, going to be popped there by Nox. Monkey able to get the elimination onto Fem Neptune, and I think that should be enough potentially, especially with Daydream and Soup going down. This should allow the Fire Islands to get this point and have one more chance. They do get a 3-man stun, but there's just not enough damage to the Meridian Technical side.
Yeah, they're definitely just stalling at this point when I guess they're just trying to buy as much time as possible and burn off that last 10 seconds. But they're also just feeding ult percentage to Fire Islands to try to build up their own snowball. They have the 5 ults going into this. This Monkey's going to be able to just get this from passive charge as they roll into this. But now Marine Technical playing a bit more split apart to try to slow them down as Fire Islands goes for this push. And now with the duplicate being such a key ultimate that can be a game changer, you're going to have to watch out for it, but not having a Pocket Mercy can be taken out very quickly. But with only the 2 ultimates on the side, Meridian Technical, all eyes are going to be on those 2 heroes.
Well, there is the Ant Matrix from Dragonfire, a great Blizzard as well from Monkey's going to get a couple of freezes. They use the sound barrier. JR with the Deadeye trying to get in a couple of eliminations. A Supercharger goes down, but a huge double Riptire from Fem Neptune. The duplicate's going to go out onto the Baptiste and not find too much value as it immediately fades. And for all of those ults, the Fire Islands get a couple of picks but cannot seal the deal. And they're going to get forced to reset here with 2 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, we saw Fem Neptune swap over to the Symmetra, but at the start of the fight on the Junkrat, he was only at 65% for his ult and got it in that fight, was able to use it and use it to perfection. Now with the Symmetra on Fem Neptune, trying to go for a much harder hold here, going against the Torbjorn that we saw from the Fire Islands defense. That worked out very well for them, but this time with the Echo just constantly getting taken out of the sky, that duplicate not getting the value you want to see from the Baptiste even. Usually we see the duplicate going to someone like the Reinhardt that can make those big shatter plays, but tried to keep his team alive and now going for the next push.
Oh, they walk right into a 4-man shatter from Soup. 2 members go down. Soup, though, does get caught out, but losing 2 for 1 always favors the defenders, and so now Fire Islands will once again reset, and they only have about 70 seconds on the clock.
Now that was one of the few times that playing aggressive worked out in Soup's favor. He got the shatter, got elimination, then went for the charge, didn't just go charging in right off the bat. That's something we see with so many Reinhardt players, that they get a great shatter, charge right in, but a great flame strike is what they need for this leg up push.
Shatter from Frozen Phoenix won't find anything though, and Dragon Shadow and Dragon Fire will both go down. They'll once again continue the trade to Soup, and Monkey will fall, but Big Boofus will clean up shop, get a pair of kills, and now the Fire Islands are left down to their final attempt here, and they will not have any ultimates for it.
Yeah, that was actually a really good engagement for Fire Islands. They just weren't able to capitalize on it as they were losing so many members in the back line. Meridian Technical, we keep saying whenever they trade, it's always going to favor the defenders. Right now, Meridian Technical has been capitalizing on exactly that, especially with how far up they have been holding the Fire Islands. When Fire Islands were on the defense, they were on the point the whole time. Meridian Technical is holding them at the door, cutting them off on rotations for this next fight as well. We'll finally rotate back to the point, so now it is just who's going to ult first and which ones are going to be the biggest game changes. It looks like it's going to be Meridian Technical.
Photon Barrier comes out. A great Maywall does block the Deadeye from JR, but that's about all the good of that fight for the Esports Tower. Fire Islands are going to lose 4 and now 5 members. It's all up to Monkey, who will go down. Frozen Phoenix on the Wrecking Ball will try and race in, but won't come close. And Meridian Technical will advance to our Week 4 Grand Finals to take on the Everests. The Fire Islands showing some fight, showing some improvement. Just not quite able to get it done, though, at the end of the day.
Yeah, they got the first map win in any Esports Tower Rumble match, and I think we've seen incredible improvement. Meridian Technical was a very close combatant for them. These were 2 very well-matched teams, and I think that Meridian Technical just was barely able to edge them out, but it was all around a good matchup for both these teams, and so I think going into the Everest, Meridian Technical has to be sweating a little bit.
Yeah, the Everest looked very strong in their one game we saw against Fire Islands. You said a little bit more back and forth between those 2 teams in our game to determine who goes to the Grand Finals. We will take a break. When we come back, it'll be our final Grand Finals of the Fall Rumble season here in Overwatch. It's Week 4. Will the Everest pick up their second, or will Meridian Technical come away with the shocking victory? We'll find out right after this.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full time.
While I work full time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome to Esports Tower. Our website offers over 350 different fan favorites that are fully customizable. To begin, click on the product category or featured item to get started. To further customize your new gear, click the blue View More Designs button and pick your favorite design. Thank you for visiting the Esports Tower store.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Welcome back to this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Overwatch. It is time for our grand finals of Week 4 between the Everest and Meridian Technical. It is a best of 5. Meridian Technical sneaking past the Fire Islands of the Esports Tower, while the Everest holding serve as the favorite coming into this group, and now we'll see if they're able to seal the deal again. The club championships for the Esports Tower all coming up on the 17th, where all 4 of the games are competing. So a win here for the Everest would be huge. But of course, before we do that, though, we do want to take a moment to congratulate all of the Esports Tower club members who have graduated from the clubs and have been offered scholarships across the country over the last 3 months. Esports Tower club members have received over $1.2 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but have worked hard academically as well, and have earned these scholarship opportunities. We could not be more excited and proud to see all the opportunities that these players are getting, and of course the ones that they will continue to get. So a big congratulations to all of the Esports Tower club members, and it should be a ton of fun on the 17th to wrap up the fall season with the club championships, which is what the Everest are looking to build momentum towards. Runner the Fire Islands, even though they didn't win, I think looked the strongest they had ever looked in any of our previous Rumbles here tonight in a crazy series against Meridian Technical. And as you said before we went into break, this feels like it is favoring the Everest simply because they dominated the Fire Islands. They look like the stronger team. Where do you think Meridian Technical, who relied a lot on their individual play against the Fire Islands, can come out on top here in our grand finals?
I definitely think they should have learned a ton of team play from the Fire Islands, seeing what they capitalized on and what they were not able to, and where their own strengths lie and how to change that going up against the Everest, who are just such a strong opponent that we've seen lose very rarely, mainly only to the Pink Panthers and Blue Springs maybe once or twice. So this is definitely going to be a top team to beat, and if Meridian Technical is able to achieve that, it's definitely going to be a staple for them, but it's going to be a hill to climb for sure.
Well, before we get into it, we can help out Meridian Technical and, of course, remind the Everest what they need to do to pick up this Grand Finals Week 4 victory, and that is Doc's Keys to the Game, presented by the Esports Tower. You can score pro advice at esportstower.com, improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You can match with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up, and those are understand your comp and play style, focus on each fight, get good ultimate value. And, of course, at the end of the day, the objectives are greater than the kills. We saw that a little bit in our Fire Islands Meridian Technical series, where fighting off the point allowed teams to get a ton, especially on control of percentage, and allowed those teams to kind of just run out of opportunities. So we will hop in to Oasis on our first map here. Time to kick off our Overwatch Grand Finals. The Everest and Meridian Technical playing in a best of 5. The Everest made it out of a group stage with an undefeated record, while Meridian Technical, we saw, had a battle against the Fire Islands in the final game for their spot here. Let's get in and see who will be crowned the last Rumble champion of the regular fall season.
Yeah, Oasis could definitely play to the strengths of the Everest, where they have even a higher individual play but solid team play here. But at the same time, Meridian Technical has this pharmacy combo where her Daydream has been just so phenomenal in this Wombo combo that it could favor both sides, excuse me. So now going into the team comps of this, we are already seeing kind of a Zenyatta through the wall, so maybe they're trying to go for a much higher damage output for the side of Meridian Technical. We're already seeing the Sigma and the Junkrat and the Mei this time around, and so definitely going for that higher damage with the Moira as well. So Meridian Technical seems that they just want to get the eliminations as quickly as possible against the Everett's, so they can just go into those team fights being up 1 or 2 members.
Well, speaking of eliminations, how about the triple environmental boop for Pando? That's never how you want to start the grand finals unless you're an Everest fan. What a play from Pando.
If that's not play of the game, you have to be so infuriated if you're Pando. But well deserved. Meridian Technicals, you know they're only going to be pushing from the right side of their spawn from now on. Hopefully they don't continue through this left side, because Pando's ready and waiting and looking for that next boop.
They get 1 elimination onto Bonesaw, but they'll trade it out for 2 and maybe more, as we do see the Everest looking to pick up a couple more kills. They do find 3 more. It's all up to Daydream and Dragonfire, who just respawned, but it's another reset for Meridian Technical.
Yeah, we're also going to see a little bit swap of the tank roles with Soup now on the Sigma and Big Boofus on the Rhine. Seems he wants to try being the main tank, and Fem Neptune and Daydream also sticking on the ground. JR swapping over to the Cassidy, as well as Fem Neptune back on the Junkrat. So the Junkrat's been working out very well for the Everest, and the Sim Brawl has just been uncontested. The May Freezes were just not doing enough, so hopefully the Junkrat spam will be enough.
Fem Neptune gets the first pick with that Junkrat spam, but unfortunately they'll lose Daydream in that push, and Matrix will go down from not Doomfist. There is a Riptire as well to find out JR. Despacito will pick up another elimination, and Meridian Technical just simply cannot get out of their own spawn, as the Everest will once again race them down, and I'm not sure if the Everest will let them even get a pinky toe on the point.
No, they're definitely going to have that dominating hold right now with even ults across the board, 4 and 4. Or it'll come down to who has the better Q for the engagement, but at the same time, they can easily bring it right back. They do have the Photon Barrier to try to block off that shatter. Chamas Fub with the Baby Diva in the corner, waiting for that mech kill. Seems Everett's are just going to have as many cheeky plays as they can.
Yeah, Matrix going to come out there. A huge shatter going to land on a Big Boofist. We did see in the kill feed, Chumis Fum gets picked off looking for the sneaky flank. Riddick Flux comes out. Despacito going to throw down the teleporters. They just ran right past him. Nobody on Meridian Technical saw the Symmetra. As Despacito is going to pick up an elimination onto Soup. Meridian Technical at least does get onto the point. A nice 4-man shatter from Big Boofist, but unfortunately not able to get onto the point. Didn't have the follow-up, in the Everest with a resounding Game 1 win here on Match 1 at Control.
Yeah, showing why they've been consistently one of the top teams in these Rumbles, and why they've just been uncontested by so many other teams, and how they've gone the distance with the reigning champion of the Pink Panthers. And so now with Meridian Technical losing that first round, thankfully Control is the best of 3, so they can bring it back, but it all relies on this map. And with how vertical it is, this is where you bring out the pharmacy to try to counteract the overall amazing team play coming out from the Everest. And they can't hold you at one specific door here, as it is a rounder map. You can have multiple points of entry here, unlike the previous map where it's all through the main archway. That has just been so such an issue. But already we're going to see a big team comp swap with the Genji and the Soldier coming out this time around, but it seems it's going to be a mirror match for these two divas up top. But it seems the Pharmacy is going to return from Meridian Technical, but already losing Daydream. They might just have to reset now.
We see there, Fem Neptune has also gone down, and I think you're right. That feels like it is a reset. Despacito will be lost, but they'll take that trade. And Genji for a Reinhardt, you'll take that any day of the week. Dragonfire and JR will go down as well. Fem Neptune actually going to swap over to the Genji, so we'll get a bit of Genji on Genji action here. But once again, the Everest start off with control at the point.
Yeah, and with that swap, you normally want to see the swap off the Mercy as well, hopefully over to the Baptiste so you can match the verticality with his jump boots. So hopefully we will see that, but it seems Daydream likes to stick to their main with Big Boof is now returning to the Roadhog that has been working out so well for them. Trying to stick to this Reinhardt, and same with Soup, sticking to the Diva, but Neptune dying first is not what you want to see if you're Meridian Technical.
Despacito's got to be careful. The whole team is trying to gang up on him. But he is going to be able to still eliminate Soup's mech, which is absolutely impressive. Daydream and Dragonfire go down, and without any supports, that looks like it's reset territory for Meridian Technical, and that is the case.
Yeah, the Everett's are definitely running the modified dive of they know their target to go in on. We see constantly with Despacito just waiting for the Mercy to either go for the res or gets the pick and then waits for the Mercy to come in with the res, because Daydream is just kind of playing that broken record of wait for a target to go down, go in for the res, because they've had no uncontested reses up until this point, but now that they're getting contested, it has been such an issue for them. Judge with the Wrecking Ball. We even heard the oh no from Michael trying to just, this could be bad, but there seems that they're playing to survive.
Did not have the minefield. That would have been a scary thought there, as unfortunately Dragonfire will be environmental, so will JR. And those are two huge eliminations helping out the side of the Everest. Daydream, the next target there, and despite picking up a couple of eliminations this time, as Judge falls back down to his own game, trying to knock people into traffic. But unfortunately, Soup will also get knocked into the incoming cars.
Yeah, it's 85%. They have time for one team fight, but Everest have all 6 ults on their side. Good luck, Meridian Technical, is the best I can say for you, going up against all 6 ults and only 2 members on the point. Make that 1.
1% left. Big Boofus goes down. The revive comes out, but Daydream will be punished. We'll see if the Everest will pop an ultimate here to seal the deal. The tack visor comes out from JR, not able to find anything. We see the Dragon Blade used from Fem Neptune, as well as a Shatter from Soup. The rally, the first one to come out there. Despacito will die with the ult available. There's the tack visor for Bonesaw, looking to just wrap this one up. Minefield going to be dropped on the point, and the Everests will win map number 1 in our grand finals and go up 1-0 here over Meridian Technical.
Yeah, they needed to swap. Daydream, she needed to swap off that Mercy over to something like the Baptiste with that Immortality Field. Could keep your team in the fight just that much longer, especially with the anti-nade going on to Big Boofus after he swapped over to the Roadhog. It was just, they were constantly losing those battles before they even happened with that team composition. So hopefully they are able to change it up going into map number 2.
And for map number 2, I do think there's one thing that, at least from what we've seen, favors Meridian Technical, is we're going to go to Watchpoint Gibraltar, and Meridian Technical kind of ran through the Fire Islands on the first 2 points here. I think they didn't even get a team fight on the first one and only lost 1 team fight on going to point 2. Third point took them a little while, but of course, as we said, the closer you get to that defender respawn, it's harder. So maybe they get map choice, of course, after losing. They pick maybe what is their strongest escort map, and Gibraltar's kind of a weird one. You don't play it that often. Maybe they catch the Everest off guard here.
Yeah, especially since they should be warmed up after fighting the Fire Islands on that map, so they would have an idea of what strat they can use and how to modify it to match the skill level of the Everest. We saw them on the tour, we saw them do the pharmacy again, but they didn't stick to it on Oasis as it isn't the best composition for that map. And so hopefully we see them return to it and it be able to be utilized against the Everest, because they haven't really had to deal with it just yet. So hopefully going into Gibraltar, we'll see that change and maybe put them out on their back foot for once.
Now, I'll be very interested to see how Meridian Technical will adapt on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Again, this is a map that they kind of dominated the Fire Islands on. And obviously they got map choice after losing on Oasis. And we will see what can happen. I think the biggest thing is Meridian Technical's got to find a way to exploit, if you can, the tank line of the Everest, because they've just been playing so much stronger than Frozen Phoenix, the company, had, that I think it's maybe catching Soup and Big Boofus off guard with how strong that front line has been.
Yeah, we know Big Boofus is a fantastic Roadhog main, but sadly Roadhog doesn't work in every composition, especially going up against the skill level of the Everests. It might just be their best in slot that they're going to have to play. And if Soup is on the Reinhardt, he can't get aggressive here because he has to protect that back line, especially with an Ana there.
Well, we hop in, and Despacito's already got a headshot onto JR. Bonesaw is going to pick one up as well, and that is not how you drew it up if you're Meridian Technical. That point already pushing, and 4 of your members already dead.
Yeah, Despacito and this Widow getting a ton of value, followed by Bonesaw. They got that modified dive where, you know, Diamond Dog and Bonesaw go right in. They have not Doomfist and Pando to heal them up from behind, with Despacito picking off all the stragglers. It's definitely a solid team comp, but already Meridian Technical is going to have to swap off JR, who's only at that 1%.
Despacito just waiting for someone to peek around the corner. Looks like a last chance contest here will come out from Meridian Technical. They're going to drop right on top of the point, but Diamond Dog in for Judge now is not going to show any signs of rust. Picks up an early double kill. Despacito with this Widowmaker helping things up from the high ground. Picks up another one, and that late contest was anything but helpful as the Everest just clean wipe them here. Continue pushing.
Yeah, they really have no counters going up against, with this Widow just being uncontested in the back line, along with the Genji, who's just high speed, cannot be matched right now. They have the Winston jumping in on the back lane consistently, so now Marine Technical is going to change it up ever so slightly with Fem Neptune now in the Winston, as well as JR swapping over to the Reaper.
Despacito looking for a pick onto somebody. I don't think Big Boofus actually saw him. The Big Boofus did get a pick onto not Doomfist. We're going to see the Genji Blade, no nano come out, a rare sight to behold, but still able to pick up just the one elimination, hunting for more on to JR. And finally, the Everest will be forced to push back, but they've also been pushing the payload this entire time, so they really don't lose much.
Yeah, it's definitely the issue of, we touched on Doc's keys, as objectives greater than kills, and right now, they're only halfway through the second checkpoint, so they definitely haven't been on it the whole time, but JR just getting taken out while he's trying to jump down, and he finally contesting the res. Is you need to swap off the Mercy. It's not working.
Big Boofus going down. So will Fem Neptune, who's now actually swapped over to that tank role with Soup on the McCree. Or the Cassidy, excuse me, and the Cassidy will go down. And once again, the Everest should be able to pick up the point here. One last contest here. Jumping away is Daydream, being able to barely stay alive from that spam, but they're not even going to fight that. And the second point is going to get picked up here as they now all jump down.
Yeah, it's all going to be on Fem Neptune to try to contest Despacito on this Widow, and finally the res comes out, and it is immediately taken away.
They tried, they really did. They waited for the sneaky flank, but they weren't able to find it, and nothing stopping the Everest right now. They got 5 minutes on the clock, Brenner, and really haven't lost a single team fight so far.
Yeah, Marine Technical hasn't been able to contest the cart or even get close enough to it because Despacito's just been having a field day here. Boneside even swapping over to the Tracer, already has the Pulse Bomb, and is just going to take him out on the rotations, as once again Fem Neptune is all out on his lonesome. Daydream still sticking to this Mercy that is honestly just not going to get the value you need.
Despacito's getting some insane value, though, trying to run away from the Winston. Gonna do what they can. Primal Rage versus a Widowmaker. You're never winning that. The only bad news is, while that's all going on, the payload just still pushing. Finally, Fem Neptune's gonna come around for the huge flank, and this might be the first setback the Everest experience here as they'll lose Pando as well.
Yeah, Big Boofus with this Roadhog doing his best to just body block for his backline, as Marine Technical will finally be able to hold the Everest, but the Everest have all the time in the world right now. 4 minutes to just get this last bit of meters to get it, and with a grab onto 2 members, that's how you kick it off.
Nice hook from Big Boof just to try and stop the damage onto their team. The Coalescence going to pick up an elimination onto Bonesaw and keep the rest of the team healthy as Despacito. They finally figured out to focus this Widow down, getting just chased by Fem Neptune on this Winston. A great headshot, though, onto Soup. And a stun onto Diamond Dog with that Primal Rage pop. Looking to take out Daydream, who is now on the brig, but unfortunately cannot survive. One last chance here for Meridian Technical to stop this push. They'll lose Fem Neptune as well. And Despacito just up top getting snipe after snipe. Soup will get an elimination, but I don't know if they'll be able to stop the push there as they get one more elimination. They'll get a final contest here, but right as the Death Blossom goes out, a headshot from Despacito is going to put that Reaper right back in the grave, and that is going to be a 3-cap with 3:01 for the Everest.
Yeah, Meridian Technical was trying everything. They had Hoop swap over to the DPS and Fem Neptune take over the tank role. That was enough. They had Daydream right at the end swap over to the Brig, and that wouldn't be enough. They needed that Baptiste with the Immortality field to take the Widow's attention away from the members so they could at least get 1 or 2 eliminations. Soup was able to get a handful of eliminations on this Cassidy and try to meet JR, but with how close they were playing, they needed more shielding to keep their squishier teammates alive. Big Boofus on the Roadhog is not capable of doing so, which is why they lost so many teamfights before they even started, because Despacito was there keeping the pressure. They were living in fear of that Widowmaker.
Yeah, you saw that replay there. The Death Blossom gets popped and immediately a headshot before I think even a single point of damage went out from that Reaper. I'm curious if Despacito will run it back with that Widowmaker on defense, and if they do, I don't know how Meridian Technical answers that, because they were just getting headshot after headshot with that Widow.
I think it's going to come down to they can't run Roadhog. It was such an issue for them. Yes, Big Boofus is best on Roadhog, but if you're just getting destroyed by a Widowmaker and not pushing because of fear of the Widowmaker, you need barriers or shields or even a Diva at that point to fly up, contest, absorb that damage the best they can. So Meridian Technical on the attack this time round needs to be able to contest that high ground and not just push the car. And with this Roadhog, I don't see that happening.
Despacito is back on the Widow, getting a headshot here and there, looking for a pick. Not quite able to find it just yet, but doing quite a bit of damage up on that high ground. As we see there, Fem Neptune goes racing in. A fantastic predict from Despacito to relocate, and already 3 quick kills for the Everest, and another reset here for Meridian Technical, as they're going to lose everybody in this first fight.
Yeah, Soup on the Summer is a good choice to take out this Doom. Same with the Gold Cassidy with Junior, but they need somebody to deal with this Widow. We saw Fem Neptune try to jump up there, but she immediately was able to grapple away. So now the Meridian Technical needs to come up with a different strat, and Daydream on a Brig is not it. The Dragonfire doing their best will get them down to 11 health, so that is helpful. But it is not going to make the difference because you're the healer and the main healer at that. With Bonesaw taking out Soup, they're already down 2.
Dragonfire going to go down as well. Potentially another reset as Bonesaw is going to jump in, just barely misses knocking JR up in the air. Gets dived by Fem Neptune, who's done a great job diving the squishy back lines. Is the Infrasight going to come out for Despacito? Does get put to sleep, however. But that's about all they're going to get. It's just a great job of running away and hiding when they need to. Bonesaw looking to come back into this fight, but finally some progress made on the point, but Dragonfire will go down, and that little bit of push is all that looks like Meridian Technical is going to get here on this attempt. But Big Boop is going to go back in, just trying to solo push it away from right below this high ground.
Yeah, we see Soup with the attempt diving in on Despacito, not able to get the value. More diving in on Despacito, but you have to dive in together. It shouldn't be Dragonfire's job to contest the Widow on this Ana. He's your main heals. He's the one you should be protecting. Now with Pando kicking off the rally, things aren't looking good.
Diva Bomb comes out from Chum is Fum. Does get eliminated before they're able to remech, as Bonesaw gonna hop in on the back line. The Primal Rage from Diamond Dog will pick up 1. Meteor Strike gonna be used to try and eliminate the tank there of Big Boofus, as well as the rally from Daydream, though they are both barely hanging on. Finally, Pando gets the kill, and Big Boofus should follow right afterwards, and that's 2 more quick eliminations.
Yeah, the Everest have a very good team composition. They have Doomfist along with Diamond Dog and Pando to hold the front line, and then they have Chum is Fum, Despacito, and not Doomfist to hold the back line. I mean, it is split focus for Meridian Technical. They need to focus on one to eliminate it and move on to the other. And they need to focus on this backline with how well Despacito has been doing.
Despacito gets another one. Not Doomfist going to pick up an elimination as well. Only 60 seconds left here for Meridian Technical. And they've got a long way to go if they want to get this map even into overtime. They still have a couple more pushes as Bonesaw 1v2ing right now. Has the Meteor Strike to get out. Will pop it right away. Gonna be able to take out Fem Neptune as Big Boofus goes off the edge. That is both tanks dead, and that is probably a reset here. As Dragonfire on the Battle Mercy does take down Despacito.
I'm still curious why now Dragonfire is on the Mercy when they have no heroes to really complement that. Fem Neptune now even swapping over to the Wrecking Ball just to try to get the cart in time and maybe do a little bit of the cheeky pushing, but a great Charge Fist from a very long distance away still gets the elimination on the JR.
They do get the pick onto Bonesaw. So a phenomenal chance here to potentially get a push going. Is not Doomfist now looking to channel their inner Despacito. 10 seconds left here. Huge elimination on to Daydream, and that might just seal map number 2. Diamond Dog going to pick up a second one. You can see Fem Neptune on the outside of your screen racing through on the back line, but gets taken down by Bonesaw. Overtime will start. Last chance here for the members of Meridian Technical, but an easy kill on to Soup will end this map, and this will put the Everest on match point.
Yeah, a very hard loss for Meridian Technical. They just were not able to answer the DPS coming out from Despacito. So hopefully going into map 3, they might have a plan to deal with that Widow.
Well, if you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights, and with our featured rumbles, recruiters are taking notice as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. Match point here for the Everest, looking to take home the final regular season Rumble Championship here. We're going to go to Hanamura next. They would have a ton of momentum heading into the club championship. Meridian Technical, though, I'm sure not going to go down without a fight, looking to extend this series, but they were just not able to crack through on what you have to assume was their best match on Watchpoint Gibraltar. So now on Hanamura, the snowballing map, it's going to be very interesting to see what Meridian Technical can do. They're starting to adapt. They're starting to change their lineup just a little bit, but it feels like they're maybe stuck being a little bit too one-tricky here, and they're not able to have the constant answers to whatever comp the Everest want to run.
Yeah, with Hanamura, we're definitely possibly going to see a sim brawl for the first map, no matter what team it is, because we've seen Meridian Technical already running on Temple of Anubis, so I expect to see that return. But the Everest being that higher level team right now and just having the better play, he will know how to counteract that, so you're going to have to watch out for the May or the Orisa as well, that either team might be running on the defense. And so going into that and possibly expecting Despacito to return on this Widow, the Pharmacy could work, but if they get eliminated very quickly by whichever sniper they decide on the defense, you need to swap off of it, because that sniper will always be watching out for you. And the Mercy has just been such a key point for the Everest to take out, because Daydream has just been such a key player for their team. It will definitely just be a condition that Meridian Technical needs to recognize of, all right, they're going to watch out for me. I need to swap off to something like a Baptiste where I can survive with the Immortality field for that much longer to keep my team in this fight. And I think the May to try to block off the Symmetra portal with the Bastion is the right play for the Technical.
We will see the Everest, it looks like, teleport in on the back line with that Bastion and that Symmetra. See if they can catch the side of Meridian Technical off guard. So far, no eliminations. The Immortality field is going to get forced to be used there. But you can see so far that Bastion not able to break the point. Does have great high ground control. And it looks like Meridian Technical will lose all of their members now. And it'll be a easy take on the first point here for the Everest.
Yeah, they had the Bastion up top, so for them to even contest the Bastion, they had to walk into his silent. They didn't just set him up right by that doorway. And so that was an easy push for the Everest. That sim brawl, they were just able to utilize so much better than so many other teams that we have seen. Taking that point, very clean fight right up to the roof. Now going for the top push again, contesting that high ground. Maybe going to teleport right up top just to see where the team is. Looks like they're going to do exactly that.
Bonesaw taking a ton of damage, but gets the pick on to Soup. You do hear the Rift Power going to come out from Fem Neptune, but this is a great spot for Bonesaw. It's going to be very hard for anyone on Meridian Technical to get eyes on this Bastion, but as I say that, Soup able to find them, get an elimination, and at least now hold on and stop the first part of the snowball here. But they are going to lose Big Boopus and Soup, and that might open up things for the side of the Everest as the respawn starting to come in. Judge on the Diva able to stay alive, however. The Everest looking for at least one tick potentially. Not quite able to find it, though, as Panda will get an elimination. Diamond Dog coming in as well. Dragonfire just hanging above the point. Now going to jump down, but gets immediately destroyed by Despacito. We see the sound barrier come out from Pando. They've gotten one tick on the point. The photon barrier has come down as well. They've managed to survive for so long in the face of multiple respawns for Meridian Technical. They're at least going to get a second tick. They might win this in one push, Bretter, as the tank form gets an elimination. We'll see how many more chances Meridian Technical has as JR, Soup, and Daydream all going to push in. One last member contesting on the point, and in one push, the Everest will two-cap with 4.5 minutes here on Hanamura.
poor Meridian Technical at this point. They tried with the Pharmacy and flew right into the sightline of the Bastion, which cost them the Mercy to even get that elimination, who was quickly followed by the D.Va taking out that Pharah. So even when they had the indoor advantage with the Pharmacy, they were just taken down. The Sim Brawl working so well for the Everest there. So now, how can Meridian try to contest that? Their best way is to do exactly that with the Sim Brawl. Maybe even try to bring in a Mei rather than the Bastion, just so they can try to slow down when they do get pushed on top of, as they will have both the Frost Beam and the Symmetra Beam to burn down any of the damage coming out from the Everests. But the Everests are going to have a very solid push. You know they're going to be running that Mei to block it off if they do end up running it. And if they go for the Pharmacy play, we know the Everests have the DPS that can, whichever DPS they end up playing, will be able to take it out just because of their high individual play. So Meridian Technical is definitely going to have an uphill battle here, but this is where they have to put it all on the line. And already through the wall, we can see that Bastion with the Sigma and the Rhine. So it seems like they're just going to try to match the play with that Orisa Sig comp. So all eyes are going to be on this Bastion player of, can he get the eliminations that they need, or will the teleporter just be burned down immediately? Also, are they going to teleport to the roof or straight onto point? Ideally the roof, because that puts you in a much safer spot for the Bastion and gives them a much bigger sightline. But Despacito already on the Ash, able to scout it out. So already things are not looking good for Meridian Technical.
Gonna try and set up that teleporter there. They will teleport not quite onto the roof, but at least onto the high ground, but they walk right into Bonesaw, who picks up a penta kill. 5 of the 6 members, and that's gonna be a reset.
And 3 of those kills was just with his right click alone, which was nothing other than disgusting. And so now Meridian Technical still sticking with the Sim Bastion is not ideal. This is where you want to see pretty much an overhaul of your entire team composition, whereas the DPS is still sticking on to what they know, but they're going to expect it every single time. They have the height advantage. They have the Echo to match it, and already the Bastion's at half health gets beamed down. This is not a good push for Meridian Technical.
At least get on to the point, but as you said, I don't think they're going to get much more than that. Bonesaw just adding to their kills. They are trying to get run down there by Dragonfire, who will get demech'd, and that baby D.Va I don't think is going to last for very long. I mean, I will get props to Meridian Technical. They're trying everything. They've got Dragonfire on the tank now. They've got JR on the support role, but just nothing is working. They get 1 elimination, and Pando immediately gets the res onto Despacito.
Yeah, hopefully this Baptiste, which is the first time we've seen Baptiste from Meridian Technical, will be able to make the difference, but Daydream going back to this Pharmacy is going to have to deal with both. Duplicating right in front of him and didn't even fire a rocket at him.
Just gets a great pick. Does get stunned there, preventing the rocket barrage, but is just going to look to burn down the remaining members. Daydream does get a revive off. She's done really good at getting quality revives, but unfortunately gets burned down. But Bonesaw will fall. Not going to be in res distance, and now maybe a chance to take advantage of that 6v5. Actually, never mind. Pando will go for the aggressive res.
Yeah, the fact that these Mercies have gotten uncontested reses so far is nothing but impressive. Now Bob getting called in right into the spawn, taking out JR. Meridian Technical has yet to even cross this archway and last longer than 30 seconds.
The Everests are putting on quite the show, and I mean, heading into the club championships, are going to have a ton of momentum, especially off of this series and how they perform in other Rumbles. Because I mean, they look like they're about 90 seconds away from wrapping this up. As you said, Brenner, so far Meridian Technical has not made it past that threshold and stayed alive for much longer than 20, 30 seconds.
I mean, Big Boof has been doing their best to cause chaos on the backline, but at the end of the day, he's just a wrecking ball. How much damage can he do? And falling off the edge like that, going for kind of a reset, is just going to buy the Everests even more time that they simply don't even need to worry about at this point. Even with Daydream sticking on this Mercy, getting burned down, this might be the end of it for Meridian Technical. As we've mentioned, they've tried everything they have in their book. They've changed up all the roles. They've changed up who they're playing, how they're playing them, and they've just been countered at every point. So this might just be one of those infamous cases of they're just better.
I think it'll be a good learning experience for Meridian Technical. I think they're definitely finding what comps can answer certain things, and as it's talked about, it feels like maybe just a little bit too stuck in that one-trick syndrome, as we've seen a lot of the same heroes over and over. We do see, though, Daydream once again getting another great res. The Gravitic Flux from Judge going to be used there. They will slam down JR, who will go down and outside in front of the spawn. I think Meridian Technical will have to live for about 15 seconds more, though. They have managed to sneak onto the point with the Everest getting a bit over-aggressive. They might actually be able to keep this game going. We'll have to see.
Yeah, Feb Neptune was in the backline, quickly followed by Dragonfire, so they get the first tick at least. I mean, that's more than we thought they were going to get, that's for sure. And the Nano coming out onto Lucio, no less.
Trying to probably just give Pando some extra damage. Judge does get eliminated there. And at least they keep the game going. The Valkyrie and the Ant Matrix both going to be popped for Meridian Technical, but unfortunately, JR and Soup will go down rather quickly. Here comes Big Boofus with the whole hog, but will fall as well. Overtime barely being extended by Daydream with that Valkyrie. Finally eats the Wrecking Ball to the face, and just like that, the Everest will pick up the win and be our champions here in week number 4.
Yeah, the Everest coming out with another win, but as we mentioned, we have that grand finale, so they're going to be going up against the Pink Panthers again, which is definitely going to be, we've seen them lose to it behind, but it's always such a close game between these two teams because they have definitely been the top 2 of these Rumbles whenever we do cast them. So I'm excited to see how all of this culmination with so many weeks going by, how much closer it might get, and see if the Everest can come out with a win against them.
Well, if you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights. And with our featured Rumbles, recruiters are taking notice as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or to land a collegiate scholarship. Well, as we look ahead to the club championships coming up later this week, we do have our ICCU player of the game to give away and a couple of very deserving players. But at the end of the day, Brenner, who do you think picks it up?
I mean, on the side of the Everest, it's hard not to say Despacito with the Widow play, and as well with Bonesaw getting Penta by himself with the Echo after that first opening play on Hanamura. So the 2 DPS players of the Everest are definitely someone to highlight. And then on the side of the Meridian Technical, I mean, we talked about them the most, which is Daydream. She was getting so many uncontested reses, it was ridiculous. They definitely know how to play that Mercy, but also Big Boofus on that Roadhog, definitely playing their best, knowing who their main is, being those one tricks. But Despacito is going to get it, and well-deserved, because they dominated Watchpoint Gibraltar. We saw multiple times Meridian Technical did not push in fear of Despacito. So a well-deserved player of the game.
Yeah, Despacito was phenomenal. Also had some phenomenal Symmetra play as well. They will be the player of the game, brought to us by Idaho Central Credit Union. He leaves a great player, makes the team more successful, just like Idaho Central is helping members achieve financial success. Despacito is your Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. I think Pando, if they had more clips, probably would have pulled it off with the triple knockoff. I'm sure we'll see that in our top 5. But, I mean, Watchpoint Gibraltar, after we saw it for the Fire Islands, against the Fire Islands, we thought, okay, this is Meridian Technical's best map. This is how they get back in the series. And Despacito basically put on a clinic of how to shut people down with that Widowmaker. So phenomenal effort. As we wrap up we wrap up the regular season here. Any big takeaways, any final thoughts, Brenner, from our 4th week of the Rumble and the final Rumble of the regular season in Overwatch?
I mean, definitely huge shout out to the Fire Islands who have improved the most over this entire Rumble season. I mean, they went from getting rolled every single fight to winning a map, winning a couple of team fights, getting some solid plays, some great players, now having a fully fleshed out team. So huge shout out to them, and big shout out to Meridian Technical for the first time being in this Rumble and being able to beat the Fire Islands and do their best against the Everhits, as well as highlight a lot of great players that they have on their team that we know and love as they've been here to play at our arena. And then also the Everhits definitely are going to have an uphill battle going up against the Pink Panthers, who have beaten them in the past. But with how strongly they showed tonight, I definitely think they have a solid chance of taking it away tonight.
Well, congratulations to all of the teams, especially the Everest, picking up the Week 4 Rumble Championships. Can't wait to see how the club championships break down and who comes out on top in all 4 of the games. As you said, a shout out to the Fire Islands. They definitely are improving and looking their best heading into the final matches of the season in Meridian Technical. I think only growth will come. I think there's a huge learning experience for them against that grand finals against the Everest. But we will close out now with our top 5 presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your incredible picking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs, offering a $20,000 bonus and your gift choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams out there. Here are your top 5, and we will see you tomorrow with more Esports Tower Rumble action.